Hi, I'm Josh Carving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, we have two episodes of this season to get through. That will be Jinx versus Harley and Zatanna versus Scarlet Witch. I was unfortunately very busy with things going on, and I was not able to get out a prediction video for Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna, which is good, because I probably would have been among the masses who were saying that Wanda was going to win it, to be entirely honest. So first off, we'll hit up Harley Quinn versus Jinx. This is a really interesting one. I feel like there was some very strange treatment regarding Jinx in this episode. It might come from them not being entirely sure how to go about using essentially a MOBA character who their own core story is very limited. They just gave her everything. That was crazy, actually. Like, they're giving her like in-game items based on like recommended builds, which won't be accurate by next season, so that's a very like that'll age itself very quickly. And then, yeah, using like ads and stuff like that to scale her to characters that she's never actually fought within the confines of her own story it's a bit of an oof. I personally wouldn't. I only hope that they do end up maintaining that kind of standard for other characters going forward, because that's definitely new. I don't ultimately agree with it, mostly because of that aspect, but that can simply be up to differences in what they're willing to include for characters. Yeah, just the animation was good though. The effects to make it like in the House of Mirrors, that was definitely really good, where it's like kind of like the arcane style scribblings there. Then we move to Zatanna versus Scarlet Witch. Holy shit, that was a good episode. Yeah, like, these are two of the most powerful characters that we've ever had in Death Battle. They sold that spectacle really, really well. And I came away from it, like, liking Zatanna a lot more, because, Jesus, she had so much personality throughout that entire fight. And the section with, like, Justice League versus Avengers, that was really fun. Zatanna juggling universes. Just overall, a really, really good time. And I was very surprised by the winner. Though she's definitely the preferred character, so I feel like everybody is more or less okay with it. So then we come to this one, which is Tanjiro versus Jonathan Joestar, or other way around, as the intro, I think, has it. But either way, this is a bit of an interesting one, because we basically have a character who has the least effort in scaling to the highest feats. Because Jonathan was fucking dead, and yet he still ends up scaling to a bunch of stuff. That is ultimately the question that they're going to have to go into. So if Jonathan doesn't get the scaling at all from any later parts than 1, he might actually be in some trouble, and Tanjiro will probably win. But if they determine that he does scale to things later on, then he kind of just mops the floor with Tanjiro with, like, very little effort. And I think he does, personally. It's a bit of a strange idea, but Dio uses Jonathan's body, so it stands to reason that whatever happens to that body would be things that Jonathan himself could have survived if his body is capable of withstanding it. Because that's physical durability. And there can be an argument made that he was amped because of the fact that because Dio was in his body, like, the vampire blood could have empowered the body. But that is actually specifically gone against by the fact that Jonathan was resisting the influence to become more powerful. It was only once he actually drained blood from Joseph that he was able to get any stronger. And there's a whole ton of feats before he absorbs Joseph's blood, where Dio basically says that he's not even as strong as he was in part 1. So, Jonathan being able to survive anything Dio does in part 1, with the exception of the laser eyes, he wouldn't scale fully to those, because I think the only 2 times that he ever really interacted with them, they went through him like butter, and then they killed him. So, not scaling quite to that, but any of the feats other than that from part 3, he would reasonably scale to. So I think that actually basically just clinches out the victory there. He's way too fast and way too strong for Tanjiro to do anything. Tanjiro doesn't really have any specific hacks to be able to mitigate that gap. And yeah, Jonathan can just kind of shut down his heart with Haman. He can just kill him normally. Yeah, ultimately I'm definitely looking at Jonathan being the winner there. And yeah, we've seen some of the animation. It looks good. It looks like some of the slightly wonkier puppet animation that we've seen in a little bit, but hopefully it kind of pulls itself together by the middle of the fight. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one, and I will see you guys for the next one.